consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's the drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long Gone podcast. It's me, Michael, and with me as always, singing something I have no idea. That's man.
What up?
Keith Ford.
How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. What was?
No, so Gemma, my daughter made a request. Well, she gave me three songs that that she'd like to hear on the show, and I could pick one of them. This was a song called "High School Sweethearts" by the Sharp Family Singers. I don't know if you they're YouTube. They were on AGT, I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think they made it pretty far in the competition, and now they're big on. They have a big TikTok following, and they were on the Fox game show, The Quiz with Balls, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, just a really fun singing family. My daughter has a crush on the twins that are on there, so they're like twins are like 17 years old, and the mom and dad are former Broadway stars, and then just a singing family. So
I think I remember they broke out with they sang something for like a product or something on TikTok. And I saw I saw that they have 2 twin boys, and I think there's an older brother.
Yep, there's an older brother, and then the oldest is a sister. Yep.
Yeah, I seen that. And I always laugh at. I haven't seen them on TikTok in a while, but I always see comments be like, "Man, their neighbors must fucking hate you guys."
They actually did that in one of their videos. The dad did like a Broadway or like an operatic voice saying hello to the neighbors, and then you hear "Shut up."
Oh yeah. I remember I commented on one of their videos. I'm like, the dad looks like Gary Busey.
Oh my! I didn't think about that. He kind of does, actually.
Yeah, he told us. And trivia, I can't believe I know this much about this family because I literally don't care. But there's actually another sibling that doesn't sing and it's not part of that group.
So the fifth sibling.
Yes,
that was like that was like a big conspiracy thing that they were doing.
Yeah.
Like they did videos about it and stuff. Like he lives in the basement, or I think he had like a small room or something. Yeah. Like it was really funny stuff. But
people say they got kicked out of the house, or
it reminds me of Chuck Cunningham on Happy Days. He dribbles his basketball upstairs, and they never saw him again.
That's so true, dude.
But yeah, no, they're they seem like cool people. Gemma made a Sims family of them on Sims 4. And she was like, take a picture of it and see if you can like reach out to them and see what they think. So I did that, and I sent it over to them on Instagram, and they, their reps actually responded, and they're like, "Oh, tell your daughter this is really cool, and keep doing what you're doing." So yeah,
kids really like them. I know my nieces and nephews like that too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no way to segue into this other than saying this is Rivalry Week.
It's Rivalry Week continues. It started this past weekend, I think,
Yeah, and it bleeds into this week, and we have some pretty good matchups. We have Chicago, the Cubs versus Milwaukee Brewers, the Dodgers versus the Padres, Cleveland and versus the shitty Tigers, and then New York is going to finish with Toronto and then end the week with the Rays.
Okay, it'll be good AL East battles there, and I think that it was the Subway Series this past weekend for the
Mets actually fucking won the first time.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
what was that?
The Mets are trying to turn it around, huh? They figure you got top 3 payroll in baseball. You might want to show you have a pulse, right? Yeah. So
around.
Yeah, it's good to see them starting to turn it around there, and like you said, the Tigers, they still fucking suck, man.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
I think that after last night's loss, it's I think 11 of their last 13 have been losses. So it's been a spiral. For them. I
don't even know how you get better. I mean, aside from just retooling, a lot of there's guys that are just not working good on that team. But
no,
but they play Cleveland, and Cleveland is a very good team this year. 27-22.
They are.
They're 15-10 at home. I mean, 12-12 away. So I think they're going to Comerica for this one, right?
They are, yeah. They put belt to ass to the Tigers last night to the tune of I think 8-2. Yeah. Tigers took a 1-0 lead, and then Cleveland was like, "Oh, you're cute." and then proceeded to curb stomp him after that.
90-2.
So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
no
that was
budget.
at 9-2. Yeah,
But this
yep.
Cleveland team, I mean, so we're looking at that matchup. I would say between both of us, we kind of figure that the Guardians will win that
Oh
rivalry. So
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I don't see the Tigers maybe getting one game, but right now
maybe
the Tigers sit 6.5 games out of first place, and it could easily be at the end of this series 8.5 or 9.5. I'd say, which is
they
crazy, right?
just gonna keep on
Yeah.
getting better.
Yep. The good news is though, at least we got Kansas City hanging out with us in last place right now. So
Well, I
there's
mean,
that.
you and I did our top disappointed teams a few weeks
Yeah.
back, and I think I picked the Royals as one of my disappointed teams.
Mm-hmm.
And these are two teams that were supposed to take the next step in their
Yep.
progression of the rebuild that has turned out really good. Now it's about winning, right? I mean, Tigers been to the playoffs the last 2-3 years,
2, 3.
and
Yep. Yep.
the Royals, I mean, they went to the second round last year,
Mm-hmm.
flamed out, but
Yep.
just a lot to love. And then this year, they're totally 2 different teams this year.
Totally. Yep.
And
Yeah.
I can't, you could blame
I, I,
injuries, but
I was gonna say I can't quite put my finger on it here. Why? It's crazy, especially Kansas City has one of the top players in the league in Bobby Wood Jr. and you still got a really good catcher in Salvador Perez. It doesn't make sense. I think it just they with the Tigers, yeah, you could say injuries, but you know they just suck. The players that they have suck. I mean, Spencer Torkelson sucks. You have one good player really in your starting lineup right now with Riley Green. Even Kevin McGonigal looks human now. He's
yeah.
signed that big contract. I think he's batting a whole 200 within the last like 2 or 3 weeks here. So, it's hard to pinpoint it, but they're just two teams that are not going in the direction that people anticipated.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And McGonigal, I
Yep.
mean, it's hard. He's a rookie, and he's
He's
gonna look
gonna,
good
yep,
at times, and he's gonna look like shit at certain times. Happens with every
right,
rookie. But I feel like there
yep,
was a lot placed on his shoulders because when the team wasn't performing, there was a short stretch where he was performing. And I think it takes certain players an ability to keep going off that. But you're talking about a guy that's under 25 years old. So, Riley Green has always been kind of a constant. He's been up and down, but for the most part, he's been one of our best players for the last 4 years. But you're right. I think in a future show, we will probably talk about failed first round picks. I mean, the Nationals are
mhm.
doing some interesting things right now where they're just demoted Brady House, a former first round pick from a few
Wow.
years back. He's supposed to be the next Nolan Arenado. He's,
Yeah, yep,
he's like 22, 23. So, let's demote him. Dylan Cruz, he started the year at demoted because, the former number 2 pick, he was in the Paul Skeens draft. Paul Skeens' former teammate at LSU. Now he's back
mhm,
trying to prove himself. So I'm not really worried about Kevin McGonigal. But then you look at former number 1 picks like Torkelson. Right now, to me, I just think it's you cut bait at this point.
yep, yep, I think it's, yeah, I think you trade them or you DFA it, see if you can get anything if someone wants to take a flyer out on them and, and think that they can turn them around, see what you can get, or you just DFA at this point, obviously
I
don't
totally agree.
you're not gonna extend his ass, but,
No, he doesn't deserve
it's,
it.
yeah, it's cut bait. Yeah, I'm starting to feel similar about, Kerry Carpenter. That guy can't stay healthy either, and he can't hit
Wow.
against lefties. He never plays against lefties, so you really only can use him when righties are on the mound, and he sucks as a right fielder.
Yeah.
He's a defensive liability when he is out there. So, the Tigers have to do I think a look in the mirror here and see who is going to be in their quote core going forward. Do you Casey Mize look great coming back again, but he can't stay healthy. It seems like too. But when he is out there, he's not the ace. That 1-1 that you thought you were going to get with the first pick in the draft. But is that someone you try and sign to a club friendly contract? And extend him. Or, yeah, obviously you want to extend Riley Green because he's, seems to be your core offensive player going forward. But I
Mhm.
think Tigers, yeah, definitely have to look in the mirror here and see who they want going forward and cut bait with some of these guys that just flat out suck.
Well, who's, not to stay on the Tigers too much with rivalry week, but who wins in this argument? When we talk about the Tigers, who is the big winner is Scott Harris. I mean,
Scott
this
Harris, yep,
guy, he took over. They started winning right away. So
yep,
it kind of his clock wasn't necessarily started until you move
hmm,
up McGonigal. Once you move up
yep,
McGonigal, your
that's his
clock kind of
guy.
starts. And it's like, okay, McGonigal's looking good, or for the most part. and then you have, Matt Clark raking down in AAA, and it's like, okay, so we can have a couple losing seasons, and Scott Harris will still be around because technically
Yep.
this wasn't his team.
Yeah, this is Al Avila's team still for
Right.
the most part,
Well, it was his
Yeah.
draft picks,
Yep.
so,
Yep. Yep.
so it's gonna be interesting. I mean, they got pitchers coming back, which is good, but
I
I don't
guess.
know.
You gotta tread water here. They said it in a telecast. I watched them from afar right now. I think I told you last week after their horrendous week that I'm taking a quote sabbatical from them, really. So I'll still keep an eye on the stats, but I'm not sitting down. I'm not taking time out of my day to watch a game right now. But I did watch a game. I think it was last week or the week before, and they're saying with all these injuries, just try and tread water. Don't get below 10 games under 500, and just try and hover right around 500, so that when the pitchers start coming back, then you are still in contention. Well, you're 8 games under right now, so you're getting near that 10 mark. So it's not pretty.
Well, maybe they'll be like the Bizarro Tigers from last year. Remember the Tigers took a dip after the All-Star break? Maybe it's the
They
Bizarro.
did.
Maybe they sucked this first half, and then the second half they
Sure,
won.
and then they turn it around. They pull a Cleveland from last year where they'll fall 15.5 games behind and then storm all the way back and
Hey.
and win it. Stranger things have happened. I remember the 2% chance 2 years ago of making the playoffs,
Tigers.
and they pulled it off here, yeah.
Well,
But
I mean,
speaking of,
it can
I was
happen.
gonna say, I saw a strange stat. You were talking about the Nationals. The Nationals have scored the most runs so far in baseball, but also given up the most runs. Do you see that?
Yeah. Pitching's bad.
Yeah, it is. So it's not the offense that's the issue here. It's their pitching is pretty horrendous there. But yeah, it's only happened I think once or twice since '98 where a team has I think it was like the Rangers in like 2008 or something like that, where they've scored the most runs but also given up the most runs. And
Wow.
spoiler alert, the Rangers did not make the playoffs that year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, good pull on that. I mean, that's tough because I feel like the Tigers were like that earlier in the year where it was like, let's score a lot of runs because our pitching is gonna give it up.
Pitching.
But
Yep.
finally, it's just then the team stopped hitting, and then the pitching
Yep.
was just like, "Oh, yeah, we're really bad anyways." So
Yeah, so now they're just getting curb stomped every night, it seems like.
they're getting
Like
curb
they're
stomped.
they're not losing games 2-1 due to a lack of offense. It's their pitching is absolutely pathetic and their offense is pathetic, so they're losing
Mhm.
games 9-2 right now. It's not a fun thing to see.
So looking at rivalry week, I'd say the best
Mhm.
matchups are the Cubs and the Brewers
Cubs and the
and Dodgers
Brewers,
and
yeah.
Padres. But Dodgers and
Oh, for
Padres,
sure.
2 really good teams, 2 really good teams.
Yeah, Dodgers are a half game out of first right now.
Mhm.
Padres are, right up there. I mean, they thought they'd be, I thought they'd be in contention, but at least for a wild card spot. But I think the Dodgers are doing that Dodger thing we talked about, where they're just gonna,
Lay off the gas a
take
little
their
bit.
time, lay off the gas, do what they need to do, get in the playoffs, and then turn it up at that point. I think that's it. Really, I think that's how their team is programmed, just to be ready for when October hits. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kinda
but
looking at some of the stats on the Padres. There's nobody hitting over 300. I mean,
mm-mm.
you're having, like, good hitting performances from just random guys, which is
Yep,
interesting, but, I mean, God, Machado's hitting a buck 80, but their pitching has just been really good for the
yep,
most part. I'm kinda going over here. Yeah, yeah, pitching. I mean, tell you, pitching wins ball games. It's kinda like defense in football, defense
yep,
wins
yep.
championships.
Defense, yep. And same thing, yeah, same thing in basketball. Defense wins championships there too. Um, yeah, they're just doing it. Doing just enough to win offensively. They don't have those, take it over league leaders there, but pitching's been fantastic, and the offense is doing enough to get them, 11
Yeah.
games over 500.
Interesting. It's gonna
And
be interesting moving forward. Boy, I mean, the
still
Cubs.
keep an eye on the Rays though too. I mean, they're the first team to 30 wins, 3-game lead over the Yankees right now. Again, I was not expecting the Rays to be this good this soon.
I wasn't either, Steve, and
Yep.
I think the Yankees have their hands full, and
Mhm.
the okay, I hate talking about the Tigers again, but look at this. Tigers were good last year for the most part, right?
Yep.
Makes the playoffs again,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. look who had a down year last year and suddenly is back, the Rays. I mean, the Rays had a down year, and then suddenly they're back. Like, and this is all draft and develop with them. I mean, we're not talking about superstars at all with this team. So, I mean, maybe Caminero, but that was homegrown. So,
it's all Kevin Cash. No, he knows what to fucking do. He knows how to push the right buttons, and this is a top to bottom organization that just knows how to draft and develop. You know, there's no big free agent signings on here. It's all homegrown talent, and it pays off. Whether that'll equate into a World Series, we'll see. Because it's a different game once the playoffs hit. So.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of Shane McClanahan. I mean, that was a guy who just battled injuries for the last 3 years, and of course, the year I didn't draft him, I drafted him the last 2 years, hoping this guy was gonna fucking come back, and he just gets injured. This is the year he started showing, like, yep, this is who I am. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah, I bet he totally did that on purpose too. He's like, you know what, Mike didn't draft me this year. All right, I'm gonna go to the tune of a 5-2 record with an ERA under 3. I'll show him.
I'll show that son of a bitch.
But yeah, that Rays pitching, man. Nick Martinez 4-1, ERA 1.51. Rasmussen's pitching well. It's a great starting rotation there. And then obviously the bullpen's, if there was a glitch, it'd be a little bit in the bullpen there. But
a little bit,
Brian Baker, 12 saves. The bullpen's solid too. So
yeah, nobody's hurting Brian Baker until you just mentioned him. So
totally. Yeah. Now he's gonna fall off the face of the earth here. So get ready.
Yeah. So we got a really fun game that we do every year. But before we do, Steve, what do you say we hear a word from one of our sponsors?
All right, let's do it. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned card enthusiast, the Penny Sleever is your one-stop shop for all your card protection needs. They carry everything from classic regular sleeves and versatile top loaders in multiple thicknesses, 35-point, 55-point, 75-point, 100-point, and beyond, to premium magnetic card holders and specially graded card sleeves perfect for PSA and SGC slabs. Need resealable bags, team bags, vintage sleeves, or colored top loaders? They have over 71 products in stock, all priced to help you build and protect your collection without breaking the bank. And now they're offering an exclusive promotion just for you. First-time buyers can get 10% off their entire order with promo code LONGGONE. Just visit thepennysleever.com and use that code at checkout. Don't let your valuable cards go unprotected. Shop the Penny Sleever today and see why collectors trust them with their most prized possessions. The Penny Sleever. Premium protection, penny pinching prices. Yeah, the folks, the Penny Sleever say it every week. Oh, here come the gifts. Oh, there they are. They're the products. Oh, yeah. The bumpers are just flying. Wow, the bumpers are fantastic. I got a few of those downstairs in the Steve Cave, keeping some of my PSAs protected there. So, love Penny Sleever, affordable stuff. Economy has been going up and down, but their shipping stays the same. 0 to 50, 59, it's a flat $7 rate, and then anything over that's free shipping. So, check them out. Good people. Very, very personable. Down to earth. Just fantastic people. Love working with them. So,
yep.
Just take a swig out of my Penny Sleever mug. Yeah, there it is. It's the condom for your collection. All right, you're gonna wrap your tool, then you should wrap a bumper around your collection there, and get those from Penny Sleever. All right,
it's the right way.
Exactly. So this is a fun game that we do, every year, a couple of times at least, and it's a little game of who said it. Mike and I like to get our creative juices flowing here. We'll do like headlines when we make up things for teams and stuff. But this is basically it's a who said it fake. We're basically going to come up with quotes of MLB players, and these aren't actual quotes. You can't find them online or anything. It's just us making shit up.
Yeah,
and
don't
it's up
attack
to
us. Don't really say it.
No,
maybe
no. These oh, they might. Yeah, some of these. Yeah, but. But and then the other person will try and see if they can guess who the player is. So it's pretty fun. We'll go back and forth and just have some fun with it. So do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll do the first one. Yeah, we'll just go back and forth. And then okay. I guess, how do you want to do it? Do you want to do like I do the 4 and then you do 4, or back and forth?
Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
It'll be fun.
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So the first player that you have to guess, who said this?
Okay.
You can call me a box of chocolates because you
God.
never know what you're going to get in any season. Last year, I was Canada's finest. This year, I'm a queen's quandary.
Ooh.
Me throwing the big words out.
Yeah, look at you. You're throwing some Forrest Gump in there. But let me see if I can decipher by going from words. You mentioned Canada, so I'm guessing it's a Blue Jay. It was a Blue Jay. And then you mentioned Queens. Obviously, we're not talking about England. I'm guessing you're talking about New York. Could it be, is it Bo Bichette?
That is right.
Oh, yeah, all right. Bo Bichette. Yeah, that guy's
Bo Bichette.
kind of shitty after getting, yeah, he's been having some, he's having quite the quandary here after signing that massive contract there. So, Bo, we don't know what you're going to give us next. So,
yeah, I just not Canada. Maybe it was just Canada where he got his best play in. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, maybe he enjoyed I mean, I don't know. Maybe he needs some toonies or loonies or whatever fucking money they have over there. In Canada. Or they have the cool names. Like we don't have the cool names like they do in Canada.
Pay him in Canada bucks.
Yeah, pay him in Canada bucks. All right. Oh man. Not speaking of, it looks like we're about to get some rain here.
Ooh, really?
Chief meteorologist Steve Ford. Yeah, the skies got kind of dark. Buckle up here, Mike.
You just go out. You're like,
yeah, I just freeze. Or that one time that we were doing it and the light went out and I just went dark.
Oh, yeah. I was like, dude, why are you in the dark now? And you didn't even stop. You just kept going.
Just kept going.
It was awesome.
Oh, here's mine. So I did some fun play on words here too. So you can kind of read between the words here, see if you can figure out my first one. I took the plunge and left the team that I'd spent my whole career with for a fresh start. So far, this new zoo has not fit right, and I look like a bear who has lost his pack.
Yeah, this well, the only thing is it Pete Alonso?
It is Pete Alonso. See, plunge, polar bear.
See, I was just going off a bear. I was like, I don't know who's close to being a bear. I was like, all right, the polar
bear. Yep. That's old Pete Alonso left New York to join the Orioles, and there's more money you flushed down the toilet there. Mets flushed it with Bo Bichette. Orioles are kind of flushing it right now with Pete Alonso. I mean, we knew the average wasn't going to be good, but the power, isn't quite up where it should be either. So it's kind of a head scratcher. So hopefully he can turn it around. But right now he sucks.
You're so right, man. And isn't it weird? Some of the stars, I mean, the guys we're talking about right now, it's like, you were awesome last year or the year before.
Yeah. What happened? Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Pete Alonso. That was my first one. What you got for number 2?
Okay. This one is a little personal.
Okay.
You and I like this person, but okay, here we go. I was the shit in the 80s and the early 90s.
Were you smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, might as well.
Oh, nice.
The Hall doesn't recognize me as a player, but maybe as a manager they will one day. Lady Luck looks down on me as winners happen when I leave.
Oh my God.
Brotherly love will help me punch my ticket.
Ooh.
A lot of clues in that quote.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, all right. Brotherly love. So we're talking about the Phillies.
Okay.
Manager. So obviously we're not talking about Thompson because that fucker got fired.
Yeah, he got shit canned.
We're gonna go. Is it Donnie Baseball, the mustache man himself?
Yeah.
Don Mattingly. Yeah. No, you and I both think the Don Mattingly. I mean, the Hall of Fame's so watered down right now. Why Don Mattingly isn't in the Hall of Fame? Then it's beyond me.
Yeah.
It's
insane.
The guy, solid hitter. Good power numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was on Yankees teams that were shitty in the 80s, but it's not his fault. But he was just a fantastic baseball player. I mean, if you get your number retired and you're in Monument Park, he should be fucking in the Hall of Fame then too.
That's
true,
man. Phil fucking Rizzuto in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Phil Rizzuto can get his ass in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, dude. I can see maybe as an announcer, but not as a player.
No. Yeah. Give him the microphone, but not as a fucking player.
The Phillies, I think, what are they, like 16-4, 19-4 under?
Yeah, they were. I think when we last talked last week, I think they were 10-3 or something since he took over, and they just keep winning. And now you're looking, and they're still 7 games out, but they battled back. They were 10 games under 500 or more, and now they're 2 games over 500. So look out, and if they can get in, even as I don't know if they can catch the Braves in the division. I mean, it's still early, but they can get in as a wild card. Look out, I think this team can make some noise. So, and
I'm rooting for County baseball, man. I hope.
I am too. They seem to like playing for him. I'll say that. All right, here's my second one. Have fun with this one. I'm a freak of nature. I flushed foreign bodies out like they're dumps after Taco Bell, and now I'm throwing again. Too bad my team is a massive pile of crap, and it probably won't mean anything if I come back or not. The only thing that means anything is getting the bag after this year.
Well, there's a lot of clues in there.
Little personal on that one, too, for me.
Yeah, very personal. I can tell the way you said it. Well, it's not Justin Verlander, because his bag's already been taken. He's already taken his bag. But the reason why I'd say to him, because he loves, remember, he used to eat Taco Bell before every game. But it's not.
Yeah, he did. Oh, dude, he did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Blake Snell is now going to, his team's awesome, though, so it's not him, but he's going to get the foreign bodies flushed. So the only one that's doing that currently, and is actually on track to return, is Tarek Skubal.
It is Tarek Skubal. Yeah, he's throwing again. I saw that. So he's already back to throwing. Yeah. I mean, too bad his team sucks. So he wants to. He's a competitor, so he wants to get back out and play again. But the way the Tigers are playing, if I was him, and like we talked about Scott Boras, I'd say, you guys have seen what I can do. See me in free agency, and I'm just going to shut it down for the rest of the year, not to risk anything. Risk anything else.
Yeah. For the bag,
it's
like even, I don't know.
Yep, but now it's the competitor in him. He's ready to get back out there and play again. So good on him for that. Because if it was me and I wanted to get paid, I wouldn't risk it. I'd say, all right, I'll do sessions for you. You guys can see some sessions in the off season to show that I'm back to myself. So
especially when the bullpen's just giving up games.
Oh yeah, no, it's what they do. That's supposed to be the Tigers' strength this year, was their bullpen. But hey, Justin Verlander showed up for Game 7 at that Pistons loss right there. But he can go do that. Yeah. He's close. He's quote close. I've had to hear that one for years. But golly. Anyway,
can you tell we're pissed?
Just a skosh.
A skosh. When the fucking White Sox are above us.
Yeah, God, the White Sox are above 500.
Dude, it's
sniffing first place.
I know, man. Terezi E, he posted something last night about them, like this team, this can't be real. And I said, and I put it in the comments. I said, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is real. This is not a drill.
It's true. Shit.
Okay, this one I believe you should get, but
okay.
This is another one that's gonna been pissing me off lately. Some called me the best thing since Ken Griffey Jr.
Okay.
I was Venezuela's finest son since Miguel Cabrera. I had 5 tools, man. 5 fucking tools. Now, I can't stay healthy to save my life. It's all downhill since my MVP season almost 3 years ago.
Man. See, at first when you said Ken Griffey Jr., I was going to think it'd be Julio Rodriguez, because remember, he was the second coming, supposed to be the second coming at Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to go with the guy who, can't seem to stay healthy now. Good thing his team's still good. I'm going to go with, is it Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, that guy, I don't get it.
I don't get it.
His bones are brittle. He's like Lubob or Eloy Jimenez at this point here. 70 steals one season, and now it's just been all a shit show since then.
It makes you wonder. It's like, what is the off season looking like? Is it too much baseball? He looks like he's in good shape, but is it just? Are you just built like Corey Seager, where you're just gonna get injured all the time? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
That body that's just prone to
especially as a
injuries.
fantasy owner, but it's It's insane.
I was going to say you drafted him, didn't you? Was that one of
Unfortunately,
your
yeah,
was that one of your hopefully sleeper picks right there that hasn't quite panned out?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Hopefully he turns it around because I really like him.
I do too.
And I'm not just saying that because I have not an extensive card collection, but I got a couple of his rookie cards, and I really hope that he pans out again because then it helps the value of the rookie cards.
Right, and he's a dynamic player. He's fun to watch, but it's like, dude, stay on the field,
Yeah, please.
Because when he plays, he's amazing, but stay on the field.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of staying on the field, here's my my third one here. Again, I'm going to do a play on words, and we must be getting a storm because now there it goes. I was going to say my screen froze up for a minute, and then the rain starts. So
and it's
buckle up, everybody. All right. My third one goes like this. I've started out hot, but reality has set in. The good news is that I am as healthy as I've been in years. The bad news is we're still the worst team in California.
Yeah.
Really hope I can fish my way to another playoff appearance before it's all said and done.
I mean, that clue right there, California
the last
fish.
one.
I mean, it's got to be Anthony Rendon. No, it's
totally. That guy retire yet, or is he still collecting paychecks?
Dude, I feel so bad. They're still paying that contract. The dude just hates me. Mike Trout for sure.
It is Mike Trout. Yep, he's still packing the power. The power's still there. Average has gone down. I think he's sitting about 224 right now. But he started out hot. But the good news is he's played in 47 games so far this year. He's played pretty much every day.
Yep.
So knock on wood, he continues to do that and can play a full season. I mean, he played 130 games last year, but hadn't cracked 100 in years before that. So the only problem is, even in the AL West, that is largely shitty teams. They're the shittiest of the shitty team in that division. In that division. So, yeah, Mike Trout. That was my third one there.
Yeah, sad for the Angels, man. That's
team's a shit show. 17-31, Mike. Yet, as pathetic as that sounds, they're only 6.5 games out of first.
Isn't that
crazy?
Bro,
because the Athletics are in first place and they're under 500.
And they're under 500.
Yep.
I hope it's not like that the rest of the season. That's gonna be such bad.
Someone's got to turn it around here, right?
Seattle's always a late bloomer. So we know that Houston is. So
yeah. Houston, they better start waking up soon. They're at 19-30.
Yeah.
Someone better let them know the season's going on.
Yeah,
right?
The season started, guys. Like, what are we doing?
And they've lost Altuve now for a while. I think he has an oblique strain, and then obviously Carlos Correa, Mister can't get insured to save his life. He's gone for the season. So
that's not a surprise. I think his career is done. I mean, you and I hinted at it a couple weeks ago. I think he was injured before he signed with the Twins, and I think it just compounded since then. He's just not the same player that he was in Houston the first time.
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
What you got for me here?
The last one here, I think you'll easily get this one now, especially since what we've said. Fuck you if you doubt me.
Oh, God.
I'm cash money, baby. Yeah, maybe we had a down year last year, but I never wavered in my guys. We are prospect heavy. Yup. Draft and develop. And boy, can we develop them. We've got no superstars, but superstars in the making.
That's good. That's good, especially, looking this over. Like I said, I usually like to go in here blind here. I usually don't read these ahead. But I believe we did talk about this guy earlier. And your play on words with cash money is a fun clue there, too. Is it Kevin Cash?
Yeah, I got to give props to him. Hell yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Hell of a turnaround there. Definitely, odds, I'd say betting favorite for manager of the year for what he's doing with the Rays right now.
Again, I think he won one before.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he's won it at least one time before. So this one I think you'll get. This one might be my hardest of the four. Here we go. On a team stacked with all stars that were bought, I am homegrown and may just be the best player on this team right now. Good thing our owners have deep pockets, because if I keep this up, I'm going to get paid.
It could be a few different players that I can think of. But when you look at the best teams in baseball that have all-stars that are bought, I mean, it's the Dodgers. So I'm going to go with Anthony Pagas.
It is. Yep. It is Pogus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fantastic year. I mean, he's hitting 299. One of the best hitters on this team. Teams that have Kyle Tucker, Otani, Freeman. He's the one up there. Has one of the highest averages. Actually, I think he has the highest average in the starting lineup. He's hitting 10 home runs. He's over 40 RBIs right now. He can draw you some walks. He's not going to. Not going to strike out a whole lot. And yeah, I mean, and homegrown, the guy's only 25, 26 years old. So, yep, definitely it's Andy Pogus right
and he's
there.
He's not a liability defensively.
Nope.
Like he's what they hoped Bellinger would be, which Bellinger was at one point. But this guy has a little bit different game, which is interesting to see.
Yeah, as we've talked about before, the rich get richer because not only can the Dodgers buy players, they can develop them too. There's a reason why you were saying that teams came sniffing at trade deadline. Those were Pogus was always one of the guys they'd want, or Dalton Rushing, and the Dodgers would always be like, "Fuck you, nope, you're not taking those ones."
Ain't taking them. And I can see why. They seen it.
Yep. So yeah, it was fun. I love doing that.
Those are always a fun game. Yeah, it's always fun. And I feel like we got out. It's like therapy too, because we could just sit there.
It is.
I'm going to bitch about it.
Can you imagine being Andy Pogus, or it's like Soto, 25 years old. He's already a 2-time World Series champion.
Incredible. 2-time World Series champion. There's no pressure because it's like, you got fucking all-stars around me. If I don't do it, someone else will.
Someone else will. Yeah.
The dude's living his best life right now. Go him.
Yeah. It was like Soto with the Nationals before he left there.
Yes.
19 years old, 20 years old, winning World Series, Trey Turner, all these other players around him. He's like, whatever, I'm do what I want.
Fuck it, dude.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, we got a fun interview. I think I said to you after, this is probably one of my favorite interviews that we've done. So, you want to lead in? It's probably one of our bigger names here too for interviews.
Yeah,
so.
we got a good one. We got a treat for you guys this week. I mean, we've had some pretty killer interviews, but this is one that played Major League Baseball and was manager, and that's Clint Hurdle of, you remember Rocktober with the Rockies.
Yep.
You remember he brought the Pirates back from the dead in the 2010s. And, he was kind of a go-to manager for a while there, and very interesting. I mean, I remember doing my research on him prior to the interview. I forgot that he was a number 1 pick. I forgot that he was.
Sports Illustrated called him the Phenom.
Dude, he was like a Billy Beane-esque kind of player coming in. And he played with. I mean, it was a fun interview. I mean, just some of the stories he was telling us. Like,
yeah. It was a lot of fun. So sit back, enjoy our interview with Clint Hurdle.
All right, joining us today is a guy who spent decades around Major League Baseball as both a player, a manager, who led the Rockies to their first World Series, by the way, helped bring winning baseball back to Pittsburgh, and managed some of the game's biggest personalities along the way. Former MLB manager Clint Hurdle joins us today. Clint, we appreciate you coming on.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Yeah. So we're going to go right to the beginning of it all. We're going to jump in our time machine. We're going to go backwards. When did you first realize baseball could become your life? When was it that clicked? You're like, yep, I'm going to do this for a living.
Well, I'm going to do this for a living. When I signed my first contract, that's when I knew I was going to have a chance to do it for a living. But I want to say my sophomore year in high school, I was a 10th grader playing varsity baseball. We had a very good player on the team named Waldo Williams, who eventually signed a athletic scholarship to play football at Florida State. But he was a catcher, and I had played against Waldo through Little League, Babe Ruth. He was the best baseball player in the area. And the scouts were coming to watch Waldo play. And it was towards the end of my first season, because normally we'd all walk out of the dugout and there'd be 6 to 10 scouts in one area waiting for Waldo to come out. And they'd usually have Waldo's dad standing with him. Well, this one particular time I walked out, there's a few with Waldo's dad, but I saw a few standing around my dad. And I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? Is he in trouble? And proceeded, my dad called me over. He said, hey, I just want to introduce you to a few of these guys, different ball clubs, different names. He said they were here to watch you play. They said they've been watching Waldo, and then they figured they might have a kid they can watch for the next couple of years and may have a chance to being a pretty good ball player. So I want to say that day, driving home, I'm thinking, all right, the scouts are showing up and they're watching me
That's
play.
awesome.
We may be onto something.
Yeah, for sure. And you parlayed that into a first-round selection by Kansas City in 1975, and made your debut with the Royals in 1977. You played with George Brett, Hal McRae, Frank White. Tell us about starting out in Kansas City and just playing with those talented players as well.
Very exciting time to be in Kansas City. The Royals had kind of landed on the map in the heartland. They had some wonderful confrontational series with the Yankees on primetime TV. When you kind of play in the Midwest, you're not the Cardinals. We didn't get a lot of pub. We didn't get a lot of coverage. But we were a very good team. Whitey had created a dynamic there in Kauffman Stadium where the offense was fast, speed, base running, good defense, good pitching, and occasionally we hit a home run. We played in a big ballpark. But to play on that club, grown men, all with a chip on their shoulder because they really weren't getting the recognition you would think you would get playing at the level they were playing at in the major leagues. My rookie year there was 78. We ended up playing the Yankees again in the playoffs. George was a Hall of Famer, and watching him every day over time, you realized why he became a Hall of Famer. Work ethic was second to none. Passion for the game. Practice was real. And I think there's a couple things that have stood out to me over the years is that people that are passionate about practice have a chance to become elite. It's a separator. Practice isn't just, as AI used to say, I don't mean artificial intelligence, but Allen Iverson, practice.
Right.
Allen Iverson, yeah.
Practice is real for a lot of people, but for the elite, there's many of those that it was just as important a game. And George took practice very seriously, and you better do it along with him. He worked hard on his defense. He ran bases. The hitting wasn't a gift. He became a good hitter through hard work and dedication, but there were so many other good players on that team. We saw Porter's best season behind the plate offensively. Frank White was a Gold Glover at second. Amos Otis covered all kinds of ground in the outfield. Yeah. Willie Wilson was exciting. We had Quisenberry, who was one of the best closers the game ever had for a 5-year period. And then we had established veteran starters in Leonard and Splittorff and Gura. And a few young kids come in. So it was just a really good ball club. We played in front of a bunch of fans. You look at the attendance records back in the day. So it was just a very, very exciting time. 79, we got in the playoffs, kind of the back door strike year, a little bit of mix-up. But then 80, we went to the series. We beat the Yankees in our ALCS and then moved on to the World Series. Fortunately, lost to the Phillies, but it was a really wonderful time to be in Kansas City. And I think 5 years later, they won a World Series. So
I did. Yeah. For sure.
Kind of looking at the culture back then, how is the culture different? Because you got to see it from different scopes as a player, then later as a manager, and then later after, now, you could see it a post-career. What is the culture like? How is it different back then than it is today? Aside from like the tech, social media aspects of it, what was the culture in the locker rooms like back then compared to now?
It's a different time. What was life back then compared to now, guys? I mean, seriously. How old are you guys?
Yeah.
42.
40.
Yeah, 40. Yeah.
So you can drop back to the early 80s, right? Or mid 80s.
Yep.
Different time. There were guys back then that still worked some jobs in the winter. If you were a marginal player, or you went to winter ball from a big league job to winter ball to get reps if you didn't get enough at bats or innings pitched. In many ways, it was simpler. There weren't as many distractions for players. As you said, with social media, the media content. I mean, our game, and I don't mean this in a bad way, our game is saturated with media people. Anybody can be a media guy or girl with their own platform. Once they get a credential, they're in. So there's distractions that way. I think younger players today do get caught up. Probably we got caught up as much as what people thought, but there weren't as many people thinking about us as we thought there were. And now you get on social media, kids are chasing thumbs, they're chasing likes, they're chasing what's current, what's hot. And when people talk bad about you, you freak out, or they rip you up. I mean, back in the day, It was simpler times. We played ball. We showed up early. We stayed late. We got to the park much earlier than players do today, and we stayed after games much later than players do today. Not good, not bad, just different. Less attention to, as we've said, the analytics. There was more talk about a feel for hitting, a feel for pitching. We watched and conversed with each other. I can't tell you of one guy that had a hitting guru or a pitching guru in the winter. But again, it's different times. I enjoyed my time in the game when I was in the game. I feel blessed that I played the game when I did. Think different. There was different value on different things. The game I fell in love with as a kid and got to play was the same game, and now the game's different. There's still so many things I love about the game, but there's a lot of things I watch the game right now. I kind of shrug my shoulders and say, okay, that's for somebody else. But it was fun, man. It was way fun. It was worth it. It was hard. It was challenging. I mean, the game was played with a little different vibe. And again, not right or wrong, not good or bad. I would say we probably played angry a little more often than they do. There was sometimes you'd think more of a competitive fire against the other team. There was teams that just didn't like each other. There was players that didn't like each other.
Yes. Yeah.
There was a time when, the umpires, they were like WWE guys. They had nicknames. They had style. Luciano, Durwood Kirby, Dutch Rennert. You can go on and on and on. So just fun times.
Oh, for sure. I love watching. I still have a VCR, so I'll bust out some of those baseball tapes from the '80s. It's always a good time to watch and enjoy baseball.
We didn't worry about pace of play in the '80s either.
No.
If you watch those games,
those
games went quick, man. Guys were messing around.
Yeah.
Yep. You didn't need the pitch clock or anything. You got done under 3 hours usually. It was amazing.
Yep.
Circling into career winding down in 1987, finished out as a player with the Mets. When did you start thinking that managing would be a next avenue for you after your playing days?
Well, good question. I didn't ever really thought about coaching because you're consumed with playing and trying to stay in the big leagues. The old saying, getting to the big leagues is actually hard, but staying in the big leagues is harder. And I found that to be true. I got up early, came down, needed some more seasoning. Wasn't that a line in Major League? The Major League One that we need to send them down for some more seasoning. I needed to be sent down for some more seasoning in 79. And then I went from playing a lot to being a platoon player, then to being, basically a super U before there was such a thing. I played first, third. I learned how to catch at 27 years old. I played left field and right field. So I became a guy that a manager had for insurance, wouldn't have to carry maybe 3 catchers, could carry just 2 catchers and me. But when my playing time decreased, I started watching the game from a different lens. And really, when the catching thing opened up, because it was, I didn't raise my hand and say, hey, have you ever guys thought about turning me into a catcher? No, man, no way. But Davey Johnson came up with that idea after he converted me to a third baseman, and that wasn't one of my ideas either. But it opened up a whole new lens for me on how to watch the game. It's the only spot the game's played in front of you. All the other spots, you're towards the plate, but from behind the plate to watch everything move, it's like, I would think conducting an orchestra. You're working with the pitch simpatico. Every pitch matters. Every guy that takes the mound matters. Every play matters. It's just a different vibe. You're in touch and in tune with everything. That created a lens that I didn't have before. That created maybe questions in my mind and learning opportunities I didn't really realize before. That's when I thought about, you know what? I'm not playing as much. This thing's probably on the back end. We're probably playing 15, 16, 17 if this is a golf course. We might be on 18 for all I know. And before I get in the clubhouse to have a burger and fries, I might want to figure out what's next. Yeah. And I started thinking about coaching. But the funniest story, and I'll try and be short with the story, was once I was going into the 1988 season, and I had one offer on the table as a player. My last 3 or 4 years, I went to spring training as an NRI, which is a non-roster invitee. But I made the club 3 years with the St. Louis and New York twice. That's hard to do as a non-roster invitee on those clubs. They were good clubs. But I did it. but that's also a tough way to make a living. So my next year, I'm going in, and our farm director, Steve Shriver, calls me up and says, "Hey, Clint, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, what are your plans for next year?" Steve, I got an offer on the table from you guys, from the Mets, and I'm thinking about playing. He goes, "Well, you know what? That's interesting." He goes, Can I just have a conversation with you very candid?" He goes, "I think with your life experiences and what you've gone through, what you've been through, I think you'd have a chance of being a really good young minor league manager." I went, "Wow. Well, that's humbling that you think that you put this thought that you've reached out to me." And I go, "What does that look like?" He goes, "Well, here's the deal." And he goes, "We have an opportunity right now, like in Pittsfield, New York. And I'd extend that opportunity to you. You could start managing this year." I go, "Wow. Well, that's pretty cool." I said, "But by the way, didn't we just build a brand new facility in Port St. Lucie, Florida for spring training?" He goes, "Yes, we did." He goes, "Isn't there going to be a Florida State League team there?" He goes, "Well, yes, there is, but that's the Florida State League. That's like three levels up from where I want you to start." And I go, "Well, it's only like 45 minutes from my house. That would be a really better fit for me." And he lit into me, "For you, and you're not that qualified. You don't." And I finally just said, "Okay, Steve, thanks." Boom. Hung up the phone. 4 days later, I get a call. He said, "Hey, do you want to revisit that conversation?" I go, "No, you were yelling at me. You were bullying me. You were verbally vomiting on me. No." And he calls back and says, "Hey, look, okay, let's have a better conversation. The next level up is available now, high rookie ball." And I go, "Wow, well, that's interesting. Thank you. But how about, have you filled the spot before us?" "No, we haven't." Rah, 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 rah. I just, okay, stop. I said, "I'm going to play." He calls me a week later and says, "Hey, we got a low A ball spot in Lynchburg, Virginia." And I go, "Well, you know what? The Cardinals just reached back to me. I have 2 offers on the table now." I said, "I'm in high demand. I have 2 non-roster inviting offers to go to spring training, which isn't that big a deal." But I said, "I have 2 teams now that I got to think about. And I'm really, that the Florida State League job, I think I would quit tomorrow." And he goes, "You'd retire?" I go, "Steve, only good players retire." I said, "I would quit." I said, "I'm at the end of this thing." And that would get me over. That would get me in play. I would go there to live at home and do this. And we yelled at each other again, and he hung up. This is like 4 hang up. This has gone on close to a month. And then a few days later, he calls me back and said, "So you're telling me if you manage the Port St. Lucie Mets that you'll do that like now?" I said, "Steve, if you offer me that job, I'm your manager right now." And that's how I got I kept threatening to play.
That's how you got
I
your
got
job.
my first minor league
Oh, that's
village
fantastic.
tickets.
A relationship made. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So eventually, well, how did that lead to you becoming the manager of the Rockies? Your first run at the show. I mean, how did that start? When
Well,
were you
6
offered
years in
that?
the minor leagues with the Mets, so there's exposure there. People you see do the work. I ended up butting head with Steve Phillips. We're very good friends now, but we were 2 guys that if he said black, I said white. If he said yes, I said no.
Wow.
We didn't see anything very similar. He was running the minor league operations. Steve will say he fired me, and I'll say I quit. It's one of those, I quit before I got fired. He said, "No, I fired you before you quit." We joke about it now. So I was out there without a job. I got a call from Dick Balderson, who knew me in Kansas City. He was the minor league field coordinator in Kansas City when I was a player, and we had minimal conversations. We knew of each other, knew each other a little bit. Called me up and said, "Hey, I've got a hitting coordinator position in Colorado in the minor leagues." And I was stunned because this is, you normally think if somebody's going to call you, it's a guy you know. It's a guy you've played with or worked with. We really know each other. But I was humbled again. I go, "Dick, what does it look like?" And he tells me, he goes, I go, "Well, what's the salary?" And I found out I was going to take like a $15,000 pay cut to go manage in AAA with the Mets to be a coordinator. And I'm like, "Oh, man, okay, that hurts."
Yeah.
But it's a new start. I didn't know anybody in Colorado but Dick. Took the job as the coordinator, was a hitting coordinator for, 90, well, no, it was 2000, probably 2000, no, it was 97. It was earlier than that, it was 93 in October. My last year with the Mets was 92, so 93, 5 years as a hitting coordinator, And then I interviewed for the big league hitting coach job with Baylor. He had 4 hitting instructors in 4 years, landed the big league hitting coach job, did that for 3 years, 2 years with him, a year with Leland, a couple years with Buddy Bell. Buddy got let go 2002. Another funny story. My life's full of funny stories. We're not good. Okay, in 2000, we're not playing well in 2002 in Colorado. Right. Buddy's in the 3rd year of his contract. Our offense is not good. I'm in charge of the offense, and the general manager, Dan O'Dowd, keeps floating these thoughts. Hey, I need to speak with you. Hey, I'm ducking, I'm dodging, I'm hiding. Right. Normally those aren't good conversations, but finally he calls me one morning. It's like 8:00 in the morning, and he goes, "Clint, I need to talk to you this morning." I go, "Dan, I'm in the doctor's office. I'm in dentist's office. As soon as I get out, I'll give you a call." He goes, "No, when you let me know when you're driving home, and I'll meet you at your house."
Oh, no.
I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna fire me." And my house, which is kind of cool, because then you're not shamed in a dugout or in the clubhouse where you got to pack your bag and leave in front of everybody. I mean, one of the biggest statements ever made in pro sports and baseball is being released, set down in front of your peers, packing a bag and walking out of the place you've been, and basically told you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, this is bittersweet. Nobody wants to get fired, but at least I'll be home. I'll go whenever nobody's there. I call my dad and tell him I'm going to get fired. Dan comes in and says, "Hey, let's talk about the club." And we're talking about the club, and we get on the offense. I go, "Yeah, I know. I apologize. It's on me. Do whatever you got to do." He goes, "Well, I'm starting to. I let Buddy go earlier this morning, and I'm going to ask you to be the interim manager."
Wow.
I went from, in my mind, going to get fired to now I'm going to manage a big league game that night. Yeah, and that's how it landed. That's how it happened. And I could not be more thankful and grateful to Kelly McGregor, who was the president of the club at the time, Dan O'Dowd, who had the vision or foresight to give me an opportunity and to trust me, with a major league ball club at 45 years old. At the time, that was very young to be a manager in the big leagues. And from there on, managed 17 years in the major leagues. It's still, in my mind, it's kind of incredible.
Let's talk about that 2007 Rockies team. Reached the first World Series appearance in club history. I know down the stretch, y'all had to win 13 of your last 14 games just to force a tiebreaker. Just talk about that season and what it meant to the Rockies and the state of Colorado there.
It still means a bunch. I mean, 20th anniversary is coming up next year, and I'm sure there'll be some things to celebrate. But it was a season. At the end of the 06 season, we had developed a young nucleus of talent for the last 18 months, season and a half. Barmas, Atkins, Helton was a guy that had been there, but some of these younger players coming up together, Hop, Holiday, some of the young pitchers, Eric Cook, Jason Jennings, Ribaldo, all of them, Franklin Morales. But all of them had success in the minor leagues, were figuring out how to play at the big leagues and starting to figure out how to win games at the major league. And I can remember, I want to say Aaron Cook threw a shutout complete game, the last game of the 06 season at Shea Stadium. We walked out on the field together. Remember, you walk out, you shake hands. The whole team came out. The whole team came out, shook hands, and hugged. And I can remember after the game telling Dan and Kelly, I go, this was weird. This is a very good sign. I said, for some reason, I don't know what's going to happen next year, but these guys, they figured some things out. It's going to get better. Well, that season, we were never hot. We were never out of it. We were middling the whole 5 months. And basically with 2 weeks to play, I think we were 6 games out. And these guys never quit. They worked. They believed in each other. They just kept fighting. They kept clawing. They were relentless. They celebrated each other's success. It was a really cool club to be a part of. It was almost like being your dad watching your kids play in the backyard.
That's
and
so
that
cool,
last 2-week period, we got hot. We were on fire. And we were on the road. We swept the road series in California with the Padres and the Dodgers. We won games at home. We'd outscore you. We'd bash with you. We pitch in defense. We had just a good ball club. And then we ran through that period of playoff games in the ALDS, the ALCS. We 7 in a row. We just swept up. I should say 6 in a row. We won 21 out of 22 games to get to the World Series, and it was somebody different every night. Every pitcher contributed. It truly was one of the greatest team accomplishments that I've ever been a part of, and I probably didn't have that much to do with it. The players did, the coaches did. I did my best to stay out of the way at times. There were some times when we had some very strategic moves work out with pinch hitters and pulling pit and but the guys played so extremely well for each other. The city responded in an amazing way. It became Rocktober. It became a thing of its own. Super special time, just super special.
Now, transitioning, you ended up going to, I think, the hitting coach for Texas, and then you moved on, eventually got hired to Pittsburgh. Kind of a compound question here. What was it like managing Pittsburgh and winning in Pittsburgh, right, during those times? And then on that, why did that become your last managerial gig? When was that a decision that you were like, okay, I'm done after this?
There's probably a lot of guys that said they were done after this. I made a comment at the end that I was going to go home and sign a lifetime contract with the home team, my family. It was the first time in my life, guys, quite transparently, I was getting paid 2 more years to not work. That's how bad of a manager I turned out to be in Pittsburgh. They're going to pay me to not come to the ballpark. We had a really good run through 13, 15. We were a really good, talented team. Our general manager, Neil Huntington, our farm director, Kyle Stark, everybody, so many fingerprints on the success there. But I thought I'd take a break for a couple years and just be at home. And then a couple job opportunities came up, and I turned one down after being offered a job, the Padres hitting coach, and then Ron Washington wanted me to bench coach. And then, last year we were in such a tough spot. I came back as the hitting coach for a month and then became the bench coach for Warren Schaefer in Colorado. I was back in uniform for 5.5 months, but really nobody else is called to manage. So right now I'm probably on hole number 18. It would take a special situation for me to consider going back. Would I? I'd never say never, but it'd take a very special situation. But the Pittsburgh thing was unique because I had learned so much in Colorado that I was a different manager. Things that were important early in my manager career weren't as important. Other things became more important. I found ways to delegate better with my staff. I found ways to give ownership to the players in a better fashion. I relied upon everybody. The entire support staff, trainers, clubhouse managers, nutrition, whoever it was. I wanted to really help build what we were starting to build in Colorado, a all-inclusive, family-first, player-centric, transformational type club. And I had the backing of the front office. Coaching staff was all in. We put together a really good group of players. But in 13, bringing in Burnett, bringing in Martin with a young nucleus that we had, and McCutcheon and Marte, Alvarez, and the young pitching staff, Cole. Our bullpen was always fantastic in Pittsburgh when I was there. That city, one of the things I said at my first press conference is I'm here to help rebond the city with its baseball team. And we did. From 13 to 15, PNC Park became a competitive advantage for the home team. It was a hostile environment for the visitors. It was wonderful. It's some of the best years of my life. And the Cueto game, the blackout game when everybody showed up in black in 13 for the wild card. Lifelong memories from that. To see 3 generations of families, to see grandparents with their kids and those parents with their kids, had not seen playoff baseball in 21 years, had not had a winning season in 20 years, for it to all explode that year in magnificent fashion. I mean, we didn't get to the World Series. We got knocked out by the Cardinals. But there was so much angst released, so much disappointment released. For 3 years, you couldn't go anywhere in the Berg and not see a Pirate hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that.
I was wearing one and I'm named from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I was reading your post on X from the other day of your talk with Roberto Clemente's widow there after the 2012 Roberto Clemente Day of trying to get off the losing seasons and how that propelled into 2013, made that such a special year. I just it brought tears to my eyes reading it. It was quite a great story that you posted there.
Never shared that story until last year in June at the Anchor Point Counseling Gala. It's a group in Pittsburgh that helps families less than addiction, money, a lot of whatever challenges you might have. They help families and individuals. Roberto sat next to me, and something clicked. I looked at him and I go, "Hey, remember the conversation your mom had with me, and you were there, and da da da." And we're talking. We're both getting goosebumps, going, "Oh my god, yeah!" I go, "I've never told anybody that." He goes, "Clint, you need to share that story." And I said, "Do you mind if I share it tonight?" Roberto's to my left, Kaylee, his wife's to his left, and she's looking at me and we're like, "Yeah, let's do it tonight." That was the first time I shared it. That's 2025. That's 12 years later. And then Roberto has encouraged me to tell the story. He even posted on X afterwards, the story needed no credibility from my point. You're on X though, and there's 2 people that I think question the truth of the story. Yeah. Hurdle's drunk again. Who knows what's going on?
Hurdle's drunk again.
He's making stuff up. And Roberto even, backs the story, but it was one of the most meaningful moments I've had as a human being, let alone being in a uniform at the time. And that hug I got from that woman, the boys did all the work. I got the hug. But you talk about meaningful relationships in life and special times that happen. Vera Clemente told me, looked me in the eye and said, "We cannot have 21 consecutive losing seasons. It would be a disgrace to Roberto's number. You need to make this stop." And you know the story. I normally try to think before I talk, and it fell out of my mouth. I promise you. As soon as I said it, I'm like, "Oh my."
Oh.
All right. And Roberto backed me up. He goes, "Hey, you just made my mom a promise." I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "I hope you can keep it." I said, "I hope I can too."
Yep. Wow.
We got to wrap it up on that. Yep. I love that. I love that story. Real quick though, before we let you go, what's next for you, Clint? What's down the pipe for you? Do you have anything else going on that you're going to be doing?
I've written one book. It's out on Amazon. It's Hurdleisms. Matter of fact, if you hit me on social media, my son challenged me on social media 3 or 4 years ago. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. It's all positivity. There's no crap. I don't second guess other man. I don't get political. I'm just trying to help people. I've had a lot of hard times in my life, and I've had people support me. So I share positivity. I share encouragement. I share life lessons learned the hard way. 25 of them are in the book Hurdleisms. I've just been contacted and contracted by Wiley to write another book. I'm working for the Rockies in player development now as a special assistant to the GM. I spend 90% of my time with the kids, young managers and staff, leadership training, pouring into the kids. I'm doing that. I hope I have the emails that go out every day for free. ClintHurdle.com. Encouragement, one's faith-based. So I'm doing a lot of writing. I'm doing a lot of learning. I'm doing a lot of corporate speaking. What's next? I don't know. I think I need to find another lane. I will say this. I love doing what I'm doing, but traveling 2 weeks a month is starting to wear on a 68-year-old man. And I know last year, traveling in the big leagues like we did, that was a little different from, my last year, 2019. I don't know what's next. God does. I know he'll direct me. I'm just trying to be of service to others. So if you're somebody out there is listening and they're looking for some encouragement, go to ClintHurdle.com. Everything I do is on there, a connection for it on all the social media platforms or the emails or the book. But I'm not here to sell books either. You get the book, great. If you don't, I'm just trying to help people.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
That's my biggest thing right now.
That's awesome. Wow, Clint, thank you.
Clint, thank you so much for joining us, man. Your passion's contagious. I mean, I'm going to run through a wall right now after this. I understand why you're a leader in the clubhouse, but thank you so much for joining us, man. And good luck to you moving forward,
thanks,
man. We'll be watching.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Michael. We'll thank Josh for putting this all together, my buddy Josh.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool.
All right.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day.
Right. Yep, see ya.
You too, Clint. Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, dope. I mean, I I could have talked 2 hours with Clint Hurdle. I don't even think I scratched the surface on the questions that I had.
Oh man, I had so many on tank.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wanted to talk more about his managing style and clubhouse stuff, but just didn't have enough time. Maybe we can get Clint back on the show another time. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
but,
and mind you, when the people who listen to it, he was on the clock. I mean, he was working. I mean, he was on the road.
He was working. Yep.
He was scouting. I mean, that's the fact that he gave us his time was really
fantastic.
It's just hard
really
getting
nice,
people
nice
during
guy.
the season who are still in the game in a way.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're still, he's still scouting, working in the organization there. So, to be able to get him to take some time was fantastic. Just a cool guy to talk to.
And one thing I really liked about the interview, he's a guy that has he's 68. I mean, he's like my dad's age, and he's just, some people that though at that age are kind of like, okay, now it's just time to relax and kind of just enjoy life that way. But him, he's like, what's my next thing? He's still looking for that. He's still recreating and redeveloping and figuring out what he's going to do next. I love that. I fucking love
And he didn't even fully close the door on managing either.
He didn't.
The right opportunity came around. He'd go in again. Yeah, that's so cool. Just looking for what's next. I love it.
I'd hire him. I'd do it.
Yeah, I would too. See AJ Hinch, why don't you go about managing the Tigers? That'd be great.
I mean, the guy's been around, man. I mean, shit.
Yep. Well, with that, shall we head on over to the Fantasy Factory?
Let's do it. All right, got a new starter sit this week. Couple newbies on the list. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's cue the music.
Okay. Rafael Devers or Bregman? Who are we starting?
Devers.
Xander Bogaerts or the hot-hitting Austin Martin?
Austin Martin.
Freaking love Austin Martin. I hope this is real.
You and me both.
I'm like, should I pick him up? I'm like, oh. I did that with Kyron Murray last year. I was like, this guy might be real, and then it was just like he was just on a hot streak, and then it just never
it died off right after you picked him up. It's like, oh crap.
It was Kyron Paris. Yeah, that shit pissed me off.
Okay.
Right. Adames or Martin?
Martin.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. or Angel Martinez?
Angel Martinez.
Chisholm again or Marte? Kettle Marte.
Kettle Marte.
McGonigal or Zach Neto?
Neto.
Taylor Ward or Wilyer Abreu?
Taylor Ward.
Freeman or Vlad Jr.?
Freeman. Although, I was going to say, leave it to Vlad Jr. I was listening to the Tigers, go back to Tigers for a second on Sunday, and they were talking about how he hadn't hit a home run in like 6 weeks, and then all of a sudden he takes Flaherty deep.
I know. I heard that. He's like, turn off for Vlad. Yeah, that's when the Mets started too against the Tigers.
Yeah.
So,
Tigers do what they can right there.
Yeah, you want to win with the Tigers.
Yeah, just go play the Tigers, all right?
They'll turn your franchise right around.
Yeah, they will.
Suzuki or Lawrence Butler?
Suzuki.
William Contreras or Dalton Rushing?
Dalton Rushing.
Dylan Dingler or Patrick Bailey?
Dingler.
Jose Ramirez or Nolan Arenado?
Ramirez.
Stephen Kwan or Cedric Mullins? Both have been,
atrocious. Cedric Mullins.
Fernando Tatis or
Aaron Judge.
Freddie Freeman or Josh Naylor?
Freddie Freeman.
C.J. Abrams or Bo Bichette?
C.J. Abrams.
Kettle Marte or Nico Horner?
Kettle Marte.
Isaac Paredes or Manny Machado?
Machado.
Machado again or Junior Caminero?
Caminero.
Miguel Vargas or Vinny Pasquantino?
Vinny Pasquantino.
And rounding it out, Adolis Garcia or Jarren Duran outfield?
Adolis Garcia.
What do we got for waiver wire?
So here's 3 players I'm looking at this week on the waiver wire to potentially help your team as we're getting in here. Teams are starting to separate themselves. You got the contenders and the pretenders. So here's 3 people to take a look at to help yourself out. First is a great name, Zebby Matthews from Minnesota. He's up 16% in Yahoo leagues. He pitched 7 innings last week, getting the win, and he struck out 5. And they decided to give him another start after that impressive debut for him. Second is Gavin Sheets for San Diego. He's up 29% 6% in Yahoo leagues. He hit .526 last week with 4 dingers and 8 RBIs. And third is Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks, up 7% in Yahoo leagues. He pitched 7 innings last week with 6 Ks and getting a quality start. So those are 3 players I'm looking at this week on the waiver wire.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, with that, shall we head on over to Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. You don't need to be a serious collector to get into cards. Market Movers makes it simple. Just take a picture of any card and instantly see its value, sales history, and add it to your collection. With data from millions of transactions across all major marketplaces, you can trust what you're seeing. You can track your collection, follow your favorite players, and better understand the card market. Plus, members get monthly giveaways, a weekly newsletter, and invites to live events. Use code GONE20 for 2 weeks free. Then 20% off for life at marketmoversapp.com.
All right. This week, dug into my Market Movers collection. Found a guy that, like I said before the show, I think it's a guy you're going to get just because I think you're better at baseball trivia than me, but it's a guy that we haven't really talked about much, so it's going to be interesting. Okay. So this guy's no longer with us, so he has since passed away, but he is a baseball Hall of Famer back in 1997. Win-loss record, 318 wins, 274 losses, a 3.35 ERA, 3,342 strikeouts. So, clearly, definitely a Hall of Famer. Began his career with the Milwaukee Braves in 1964, pitched one of the best knuckleballs ever in the game. Earned him the nickname. I don't think you know the nickname, but I'm just going to say it. They called him Nuxie. I think that's a stupid name.
Nuxie. Okay.
But pretty cool name. Pretty, a pretty good, whatever. 5-time All-Star.
Whatever.
5-time Gold Glove Award winner as a pitcher. Pretty damn good. 2-time NL wins leader. Pitched a no-hitter in 73. The Braves retired his jersey, and he's in their Hall of Fame. I can't believe it took him 5 ballots to get in, which is fucking stupid. He also has a very successful brother, which, they were the sons of a coal miner, and I don't know, just a really good American family story. And these guys played a long time in Major League Baseball. You're talking like 3 decades. This guy pitched from 64 all the way to 1987. That's pretty amazing.
Jeez. That's longevity.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Okay. What do we got?
It's, is it Phil Niekro?
It is.
Oh, nice. Go me. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a guy we don't really talk about much. We've talked about him, but we don't talk about him before or much.
Yep.
But you look at just what he brought to the game. He's arguably one of the best pitchers of all time. You talk about 300 wins, check. Under a 4 ERA, check. 3,000 strikeouts, check. The guy just fucking
pitched till he's almost 50.
Dude, I know. Yeah. Him and his brother were just really ball players. Used the scanning app this week, scanning part of the Market Movers, and I came up with the 1968 Topps Phil Niekro, number 257. The card itself doesn't really go for a lot. It goes between $3, $4, $5. I've seen it as high as 14 for your mint, for your really, you're very good or you're excellent. So, but just a good card, good vintage card to have.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also going to go with a guy who's since passed on. So I am going to go take a look here, and this guy is also a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He spent his entire career with one team.
Okay.
Arguably, one of the greatest I'd say third baseman of all time. He also had a cool nickname. It's not Nuxie, but when you get called Mr. Hoover, then you're doing something right there. This guy was an 18-time All-Star. He won 16 consecutive Gold Glove awards, the most by any position player, and tied with Jim Katt for second most of all time behind Greg Maddux. His played almost 2,900 games at third base, and he he not only exceeded, number not only exceeded by the closest player, was about 700 games behind him when he retired, but also remains the most games by any player in Major League history at a single position. Spent 23 seasons with this particular team. Compiled a 267 career average, 2,848 career hits, 268 home runs. Won a couple of World Series with the Baltimore Orioles there in 66 and 70. Won an MVP award in 1964. Was a World Series MVP winner in 1970. Essentially, you could call him, he's a member of Major League Baseball's All-Century team. Not only part of baseball's Hall of Fame, but also part of the Baltimore Orioles Hall of Fame. The guy fucked, man. I'll just say that. You could say that Cal Ripken could technically be Mr. Oriole, but no, this guy is he's really Mr. Oriole. So
yeah, a guy that you and I think very fondly of. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Definitely my top 5. That is Brooks Robinson.
It is Brooks Robinson, and the funny thing is, I also use the Market Movers scanning app. I went with the 1968 as well. That's really funny that you picked Necro. I picked the 1968 Brooks Robinson card. Because I have a few Brooks Robinson cards. I have some from the early 60s, and I think I have a couple from the 70s. But this is 1968. Similar. It doesn't go for high bucks. You can go probably anywhere, but between raw and decent condition, about $10. If you can get like a PSA 8 or 9, then that goes into the hundreds of dollars. But raw, you can get it fairly it's fairly affordable there. So Brooks Robinson is what I went with as my player in the 1968. Good year for cards.
Good year for cards.
Yeah.
Another, if we're talking trivia on Brooks Robinson, there's a lot of it, but he made most of his money after baseball, of course, like many of the ball players at that time. Really sad, though. He was a guy that gave away a lot of his money because he always invested in stuff with friends. He helped friends down on their luck. He was just a very generous guy, but he was really bad with money. And unfortunately, when he died, I think he was pretty much broke, which was really sad. Yeah.
That was really sad.
Yeah.
So, well, speaking from sad to happy, shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, looking online at this guy's cards, I'm going to actually pick one of the cards that I have, and it would be his 1977 tops for this player. Very, very cool looking card. I have a few of his Oakland A's cards as well, but it's none other than a happy birthday to baseball great and Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson, born on May the 18th of 1946. Actually, Brooks Robinson was also born on May the 18th, so that's another reason why I picked up Brooks Robinson there. Two Hall of Fame players born on the same day. It's pretty dope. Some numbers on Reggie Jackson: 262 career average, 2,584 career hits, 563 home runs, 1,702 runs batted in. Obviously played for the A's, then he went to Baltimore, then to New York, and then to the Angels, and then back to the A's to close out his career. 14-time All-Star, a 5-time World Series champion, an AL MVP in 73, a 2-time World Series MVP, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 4-time AL home run leader, AL RBI leader in 1973. His Athletics number 9 is retired. His New York Yankees number 44 is retired. He's part of the Athletics Hall of Fame and also a member of Monument Park for the Yankees, and obviously Baseball's Hall of Fame. Elected in 1993 on his first ballot with 93.6% of the vote. A little trivia on Reggie Jackson is, I thought this was cool. Jackson led his teams to first place 11 times over his 21-year career and only had 2 losing seasons in his career.
No shit.
There you go. Yeah. How about that?
Fuck, dude. I didn't know that. That's a good trivia there. Man, really? Wow. Can you imagine players who've just lost all their career?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Only two times in his 21-year career that his team finished with a losing record.
That's amazing. That's amazing, actually. Holy shit. I never heard something like that.
Yeah. So, happy birthday to Mr. October himself, Reggie Jackson.
Happy birthday, you winning son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's right. Whew.
That's a fucking show.
It's a good show, man. Good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. I mean, the Clint Hurdle thing, I had a great interview. Just fun
dude,
shit,
so much fun. Yep.
Yeah, we get some good guests on here. Some more coming in the next few weeks, I'm sure, as well. But this train's fucking chugging along.
Train's rolling along. We're getting close to we got the unofficial start of summer coming up next week with Memorial Day.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, I Memorial Day is probably one of my favorite holidays. It's a really kicks off the summer, and then it's depressing at Labor Day where it's like, oh, now it's coming to an end. But
yeah, it's fall.
there's hope in the air when it's Memorial Weekend with summer on the horizon. So looking forward to that.
Oddly enough, I imagine Steve starts listening to Christmas music around Labor Day.
I do, yeah. Well, I listen to it from time to time throughout the year. I'll really pick it back up in July for Christmas in July. But yeah, once it gets past Labor Day and we start creeping into October, then the Christmas music really starts coming out. So.
Fuck yeah, dude.
You know it, yeah.
Yeah,
man.
Everybody, thanks for listening.
Yep.
Telebud. Make sure to go on our other YouTube channel.
Check us out on YouTube.
Yep. Appreciate you guys, doing what you're doing over there with Underdog, but, show us some love also on our YouTube channel, along on the podcast. And like I said, we're going to have more, we're going to have more content coming, and we're going to be busting out a lot of stuff. So in the meantime, guys, have a great week. We will catch you guys all next week.
Deuces.